Patrick Davis and his late wife, Julie Davis, moved to Encinitas more than 40 years ago. The coastal town was an idyllic place to start a family.
We raised 4 children and grew up in this beautiful Encinitas community and, couldn't have been happier. We had a wonderful life here.
In August of 2019, friends and family gathered at nearby Grandview Beach for a celebration. Davis's sister-in-law, Elizabeth Charles, had just completed breast cancer treatment. He says the lifeguard on duty suggested they sit just north of the lifeguard tower.
It was high tide at the time, so we were probably only 10 feet away from the cliff, and there was maybe another 10 feet at the most in front of us where the waves weren't breaking.
The kids paddled out on surfboards. People on the beach ate sandwiches and relaxed in the sun.
So we sat there and, we're just enjoying ourselves. And next thing we knew, the cliff let loose. And then it was just pure bedlam after that.
Fire department emergency.
Please hurry. Grandview Beach, 1700 Neptune Avenue. There's a landslide and there are people underneath. Grandview, right next to the lifeguard station. Right next to the lifeguard.
A section of the bluff had collapsed, sending huge rocks and debris onto the beach below. Several people were pinned under the crushing weight of the fallen boulders.
Oh my God, there might be a death.
What happened?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but some of the injuries were too severe. Davis lost his wife, his sister-in-law, and his daughter, Annie.
We've never been the same family since.
After 5 years, Davis is able to talk about his wife, Julie.
But I can't talk about my daughter. Losing a child is just one of the worst things any parent could ever go through. So that's been a real difficult thing. So if you want me to get emotional, just start talking about Annie.
Davis no longer spends time on the beach at Grandview, but he often walks down the long staircase to see where people are sitting.
And almost every time I've gone down to the beach, I see people sitting right against the bluffs. I remind the lifeguards that part of their job is to keep people away from the bluffs, and they then respond and run down and tell people how dangerous it is.
But it shouldn't be on the shoulders of one grieving man to keep beachgoers safe. Fortunately, state lawmakers and local researchers are digging into the problem. The ultimate hope is to develop an early warning system that saves lives along the coast. Scientists at Scripps Institution of Oceanography are a few years into their research, and the early results are promising. Mark Zumberg is a research geophysicist at Scripps.
We've had 3 cases where it was pretty clear something was going to happen.
Each time, researchers accurately predicted a bluff collapse at a specific location, sometimes more than a day in advance. To gather data, they installed sensors called tilt meters along the bluffs in Del Mar and Encinitas. Zumberg says the device is like a very sophisticated leveling tool.
If you could set out a carpenter's level and very precisely keep track of the position of that bubble, you would be able to tell if the land is tilting.
Soon, researchers will install custom sensors that can measure land movement down to the diameter of an atom. Scripps researcher Adam Young says early warning systems do exist for inland landslides.
But something specific for the coastline, which involves other processes like waves and tides and that sort of thing, I'm not aware of anything like that.
He's optimistic that a warning system along the coast is feasible.
What we're seeing so far is quite promising that we'll be able to use these signals in the future to develop a system.
These early results are remarkable, but the scientists caution there's a lot that remains unknown. And even if a warning system can be developed, it'll likely take years to roll out and require action from state lawmakers. Assemblywoman Tasha Berner represents the coastal areas of Del Mar and Encinitas. She authored the legislation that kickstarted the research.
My hope would be by 2030, the pilot would be going across California in these probably selected locations that are most acutely experiencing bluff collapses.
By 2035, Berner believes the system could be rolled out up and down the West Coast. News about the progress at Scripps left Patrick Davis feeling encouraged.
Because I think this could be just a really valuable step in making the bluffs a lot safer down there.
Davis's family has filed a lawsuit against the state, the city of Encinitas, and a local homeowners association. In addition to seeking financial damages, they're asking for policy changes to improve safety along the coast. Scott Rodd, KPBS News.